All right. So you guys can actually see me doing this. So our YouTube channel is Lumiwealth, right? So the same name as our company. And if you want to have a recording of this afterwards, it's going to be available on Lumiwealth. There we go. This is our channel, right? We have a lot of stuff on here, a lot of like free goodies, a lot of interviews with investment professionals, help with setting up algo bots, so examples of some of our students and their algorithms. Lots of really good stuff in here. So I'd highly recommend that you find us on YouTube and subscribe to us. Make sure you also turn on this little bell thing so that when we do release something new, you get notified. Yeah, check us out on YouTube. So basically search for Lumiwealth over there. All right, so welcome to the webinar, guys. So today what we're going to be covering is we're going to be covering how to get started with algorithmic trading, right? And essentially, we're going to talk, this is our agenda, right? We're going to ask a little bit about who's on the call, right? So get to know you guys a little bit. I'm going to have a little bit of an intro to myself and the company, and then we're going to jump right into it. Algorithmic trading, some of the returns that we've been getting, and I'll actually show you one of our accounts that we just put up like a month ago and we're already doing pretty well. We'll go over some things about the code if you want to learn a little bit about how the code works. And then I'm going to show you a demo of basically these bots working. And it's a pre-record demo because, of course, right now the markets are closed, so we can't do that, although we're very soon adding crypto capabilities. So pretty soon we will be able to do that with crypto. But basically, it's a pre-recorded demo that could show you guys how all that works, right? And then, yeah, we're going to talk about the course and how you guys can get started, right? Okay, so first of all, so do you guys want to tell me a little bit about yourselves? Tell us, you can type on the chat. By the way, throughout this entire webinar, if you have a question or a comment or anything, make sure to use the Q&A or the chat. Definitely love making this interactive. So if you guys have any questions, just be sure to ask, right? Don't wait until the end. Right, there's no need to wait until the end. It's much more fun when this is interactive, right? But right now, if you guys could type into the chat, a little bit about yourselves. What is your occupation? Do you know how to program, and how much investment experience you have? It's great to get to know you guys a little bit, so we can kind of tailor this to you. All right, so we got a couple things in chat here. So software architect, it says Yuri. That's great, awesome. So you definitely have some programming experience, that's for sure. All right, how about, do you have a lot of, yep. Do you have a lot of investment experience? Are you still new to this, or is this not a lot of investment experience? Okay, so, we actually have both kinds of people that join into our programs. And it's actually great because people get to know each other well. We have people that either have a lot of programming experience, or people have a lot of investment experience, and usually we get them to come together, and that's kind of the most fun part of this, right? So I can tell you right now, our class that we're going through, we have maybe half of the people there are investment advisors. They have a lot of background in finance. They have some cool algorithms or investment strategies that they've been working on, basically, so some cool investment strategies that they've been working on. But also, it's great to see people be able to apply that to the using software, right? Cool. Okay. So yeah. So if you guys can go ahead, type that stuff into the chat. All right. I'm going to keep going here. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about. We got another chat here. Fireman, no software experience, little bit of investment experience. Okay, great. Yeah, it's definitely nice. Again, when you join this class, you get to know a lot of people that either have this program experience or finance experience, or both. Some people, and really, it's people get to know each other very well, and that's a huge part of the course, is that you get to know other people in the class, and it's really a big community. Okay, great. So let's talk let's give you a little bit of an introduction here. All right. So first of all, who am I? So my name is Robert. I'm the instructor for this course. I'm also the CEO of Lumiwealth. Right. So my background, I've been programming for 20 something years, over 20 years at this point. It's been a long time. I was one of those kids that started when I was like 12 years old, been doing it for a very long time. Did everything from, create hacks for video games to start software companies and manage software teams. One of the biggest teams I managed was 30 plus people. So definitely been in the space for quite a while. I've also been doing finance for quite a while, which started with me investing when I was younger in my undergrad, but then ended with me, after that ended up with me going to do my master's in finance. And then afterwards worked on Wall Street for some period of time, worked at a company called Greystone, where I was managing a software team. The company, what they do is they do mortgage lending, where, if you want to get a $10 million or $20 million mortgage loan, you'll go to them, right? And my job there was basically to help build out some software. Essentially, I put together a team and we put together some software to help with the loan process. I think to date, the software that we created has probably done, $50 million in loans, probably a little bit more actually at this point. So that's one piece of software. After Greystone, I worked at Voyager. So if you guys are familiar with the crypto industry, Voyager is basically like a Coinbase. It's like it's a crypto trading app, right? So imagine like a brokerage. If you guys trade Robinhood, you can go on Robinhood, you get trade crypto, and Voyager is very similar. So basically, I was employee number 4 there, and basically built it from scratch, right? So helped hire the whole team, basically architected everything, how it's going to be built out, our iPhone app, the back end. If you have any questions about crypto, please ask me. It's always fun to talk about. Our community is definitely very vibrant in the crypto space, which is why we're also getting deeper and deeper into this as well as a company. All right, so that's a little bit about myself. After Voyager, I decided to go off and start our own company, which has been a dream of mine for a while. And we started Lumiwealth. And so what is Lumiwealth all about? So Lumiwealth is essentially helping people use software to get better investment returns, right? There's a lot of ways that we can do that. And essentially the way that we've started is within the education space, right? So right now we have a set of courses. We have 3 courses right now. One that we just added, actually, we put on our website about 2 days ago, and we're doing a webinar for next week, the first webinar. But essentially we have 3 courses. We have our algorithmic trading course, which is this course that we're talking about. That's basically going to help you use software to trade automatically, right? You could trade stocks, options, you could trade futures, you could trade Forex, and pretty soon you're going to be able to trade crypto as well. We're adding that in very shortly. So you can trade a lot of different assets automatically using software. There's lots of cool things they could do with it. Well, I'll show you some of the algorithms, and some of them are quite profitable, right? That's our algorithmic trading course. We also have a machine learning course, which adds kind of the smarts to your algorithms. The machine learning course is usually a little bit more advanced. We recommend, if you don't have a programming background, to take the 2 together, algo trading and machine learning. And then we also create this options trading course, which again is a little bit more of an advanced course. If you have a programming background, I think it'd be okay. But if not, then I definitely recommend that you take, again, the algo trading course along with the options trading course. So we have a question here from Yuri. What is the time estimate for crypto trading? I'm good. I mean, it depends on also third parties and how quickly they move, because the brokers that we use are implementing this. But if I were to make an estimate, I'd say about a month or 2, we'll have crypto trading out. So our core technology, if you were to take, yeah, definitely, very cool. Yeah, so I mean, if you were to take our algo trading course, then by the time that you finish the course, we'll actually have this built in, right? I'd say it's a very high probability that by the time that you finish the algo trading course, we'll also have crypto as well. And hopefully we'll be able, we modify this course as we go as well. So maybe we'll even teach you a little bit of crypto within this course, actually, that's starting in August. I think there's a good chance of that. Cross your fingers. Obviously not like in depth, right? But we can show you this is how you set up and start trading crypto, right? Okay, cool. So that's Lumiwealth. We focus a lot on education. We're also, slowly starting to build out our little website to actually showcase our algorithms and allow you to actually put money into them. We're slowly building towards that. But that's our company, and definitely very passionate about this. And I love helping people achieve better investment returns and helping people, really get a lot out of software. I have a strong belief that software, I mean, it's already taken over the world, but software has such a strong impact in everything that investment is no different. And as we go through this presentation, I'll show you why I believe that. And actually, there's a lot of good reasons for that. Yeah, so that's Lumiwealth, right? For those of you that were around earlier, I already mentioned this, but make sure you follow us on YouTube. I'm going to send you the link as well into the chat so you guys have this available. All right, so I'm going to send this over. There you go. Okay. So there's a link to our YouTube channel. You could also just go to YouTube and search for Lumiwealth, but I definitely recommend that you guys follow us. First of all, this video that you're watching right now, the recording of it is going to be on Lumiwealth, the YouTube channel. So if you want to rewatch this is where you're going to be able to find it in our YouTube channel. And then also, we have a lot of other really good stuff on here. We have some of our customer reviews. If you want to look through it, you could search some of our reviews. We have some information about who we are and what we do. We have our other webinars for like our machine learning course. And then there's also lots of interviews with investment professionals. There's lots and lots of good stuff on here. So I definitely recommend that you subscribe and turn on this little bell icon here so you get notified when we add in new things. If you are interested in crypto, we're actually releasing a series on crypto very soon around all this stuff. So Yuri says, there's no way to copy a link from Zoom chat on Linux. Can you email it, please? Sure, I can email if you'd like that. We're going to send it through an email as well. So you'll get an email after this with the video link. But I mean, it's pretty easy for you to find. If you just go on YouTube, search for Lumiwealth, Lumiwealth. Search for that on YouTube, and you'll actually see this is live right now, right? It's pretty easy to find us on YouTube, right? Cool. Okay, so that's our YouTube channel. I also want to tell you guys about our Discord channel. This one's also really cool for you guys to join. I'm gonna send out this in our chat. And then also, I'm gonna, you'll get this through email as well. But our Discord channel is really good. We have lots and lots of people around here that are building out algorithms. Some people have been very, very successful. I could tell you about some of our students that have made, 300-400% off their returns in the past year. So definitely a good place to check out and learn from the student base there. There's a lot of our alumni there. There's our alumni channel. And then if you actually, by the way, if you join our courses, you get access to our discussion hour channel, which is a voice-based channel. And we actually have those discussions once a week. Right. Then also just make sure to fill out the survey at the end of the webinar. Definitely love getting feedback from you guys and learning a little bit about, or learning a lot actually about, what you guys want going forward in our company and, how we can make these presentations better. Right. And then also just want to say, please ask questions throughout the presentation. You guys are already doing it, but interactive nature is definitely very good. Right. Cool. Okay. So that's the introduction. So let's jump into it. All right. So what is algorithmic trading and why do we care? Right. So first of all, algorithmic trading is using software to analyze data and to make trades. Right. So sometimes people use algorithms to simply analyze data, and there's a lot to that, right? Certain types of companies will just get lots and lots of data from around the internet, crunch the numbers and it'll spit out saying, you should buy this, right? You could build algorithms to do that sort of thing. There's a lot of data science involved in that, and we teach a big part of that is the data science aspect of how do you figure out what are the right ways to invest. And then you can also take it a step further, and you can actually automatically execute those trades for yourself as well, which I think is what most people are very interested in, is just taking, everything, automating it, and just having these bots run automatically for you buying and selling stuff, right? Okay. So that's basically what algorithmic trading is. So again, it could provide trade alerts, or it can actually execute the trades for you. We actually have a way, if you're interested, to set up your bots to send you like text messages or emails whenever a trade is executed. So it's definitely something that you can do, or you can just have it say, okay, you should buy this now or whatever, right? Okay, so why do we care about this, right? So first of all, like I said earlier, this is definitely something I'm very passionate about, and we've actually made some pretty good returns already doing this, right? But you know, it's not just about us. It's not just about me, right? This is a trend. There's lots and lots of other companies doing very well in this, right? So one great example of this is Renaissance Technologies. This is run by a guy named Jim Simmons. So here, let me actually show you some. This is it's a really good book about Jim Simmons called The Man Who Solved the Market. If you guys have never read this, I'd highly recommend that you check it out. This is the Audible. Let me see if I can find on, yeah, there you go. Here's on Amazon, right? A little bit bigger picture. The Man Who Solved the Market by Jim Simmons. So this is, I don't know why it flipped over there. Let's take a look at the, yeah, for some reason we'll leave the title on. So, okay, there. So let's leave it like this so you guys can see it. But essentially what this book is about, it's about a guy named Jim Simmons, who is the guy that founded Renaissance Technologies, right? And Renaissance Technologies, what they are is they're a hedge fund, but they're a unique kind of hedge fund in that what they do is they only use algorithms to trade, right? They spent quite a few years building out these algorithms and actually now make a ridiculous amount of money doing this. The book is fascinating if you guys have never read it. So let me, you guys send out a chat here. You are too fast. If you share the link, it would be great. Okay, here. So let me share the link here. I'll share this link to Amazon. Essentially, it's called The Man Who Solved the Market by Jim Simmons. All right. So what? So this guy. Yeah, no problem, Yuri. There you go. So what this guy did is he built out this hedge fund that essentially is using algorithms to trade. These guys have made spectacular returns, right? So to tell you a little bit about it, I mean, these guys, the book is really interesting. They started off with like just trying to figure out how to do this. They hired a bunch of like really smart guys to do it. It's a lot easier to do now than it was back in the 70s or when they first started. But basically, they're able to teach machines how to automatically buy and sell stocks, right? These things were so successful for them. They made so much money that these guys were like literally buying houses and like forgetting about them, right? They're like buy giant mansions in the middle of New York or whatever, and like just forget that they even existed because they had so much money. It was like ridiculous. It's basically like it was like a bank machine, right? Just tons of cash coming out of it, right? So a little bit about this company, you know, these guys manage $110 billion in assets. The only reason why they don't manage more is because they actually don't accept any more capital. They actually, at one point, their medallion fund, they gave all the money back to their investors and said, we're just going to invest it on our own. So now it's only internal money that uses the medallion fund. That's how successful they are. This fund has made 39% average annual return, and that is uncorrelated with the stock market. And they have, I think, only had 1 month or 1 quarter where they've ever lost money in the past 30 or 40 years, which is ridiculous. Think about 2008, think about the crash of 2000, think about last year. They have not had a single quarter where they have ever lost money, or there's only one, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. And that was barely a loss, by the way. It was like a 2% loss or something. It's nothing, right? They've made 39% returns on average, and that's very, very stable and very, very uncorrelated to the stock market. It doesn't matter what the stock market does. They're still making money. It's amazing. So for those of you that don't have a finance background, here's how much that actually really matters, right? So let's say if you had $1,000 and you put into the stock market, right? Then, so, and here, let me actually say this. So this is, maybe we'll make this a little bit simpler for you guys here. So if you're in the stock market, okay, and then this is the medallion fund. This is Renaissance, right? So if you were in the stock market, okay, then you would have turned $1,000 into $17,000 after 30 years, right? You can scale that up if you're, you know, if you're talking about your retirement savings, you know, $100,000 or whatever you want to call it, right? $10,000. If you had $10,000, you would have turned to 174,000, right? If you had put this money into Renaissance instead, by the way, that's very good. The stock market, if you're invested in the stock market, that's probably one of the best decisions you'll ever make, as opposed to like putting your money into a savings account or anything like that, right? Just very good investment advice. What's even better is if you're in something like Renaissance, right? $1,000, instead of turning into 17,000 after 30 years, would have turned into $24 million. So if you put in 10,000, you would have ended up with $240 million at retirement. That is a astronomical difference between the two. That is how successful these guys are. They literally have a printing press. They're making so much money. It's crazy. These guys, all they do is just algorithmic trading, and they've been doing that for many years. They're very good at this, right? Okay, but they're not the only ones. They're not the only company that's doing really well and has this kind of track record. Another company, Two Sigma, these guys manage $60 billion in assets. Same sort of thing. I met a bunch of people they're based out of New York. These guys really make a lot of money as well. They beat the stock market regularly. They have very good, stable returns that don't fluctuate a lot. They manage $60 billion in assets, and they're also doing very well, right? Citadel, another one. These guys make a ton of money as well, manage $32 billion. They're also algorithmic traders, right? Another one, Bridgewater. These guys use really a lot of the data to inform their decisions. They have massive computers that basically analyze all the data in the world and it helps them make very, very good investment decisions. These guys manage 138 billion. And Ray Dalio might be someone that you guys are familiar with. He talks about this stuff all the time, right? Another company, D.E. Shaw. By the way, these guys are all very successful, all making tons of money, very top of the top in terms of hedge funds, right? D.E. Shaw, these guys are another one that's also doing very well. They've been using algorithms to make money for quite some time. And you guys actually might find this name familiar, specifically because one of the richest people, actually, I think the richest person in the world used to work for D.E. Shaw, and that's Jeff Bezos, right? He actually used to work for the hedge fund, helped them design some of the software back in the day, ended up leaving, starting his own thing, which is Amazon. I think he ended up doing quite well for himself, right? But before that, immediately before he started Amazon, this is where he worked at D.E. Shaw, helping build out these algorithms, right? So definitely you're in very good company, right? So these guys are doing very well. So have we. We've been doing quite well with our investments. I'll show you a couple of things, right? So here's our investment returns from last year. When last year, the S&P 500 was up 17%, we were up about 53%, right? So we really beat the stock market by quite a large margin, right? This is from our Fidelity account. So we pretty much tripled the returns of the stock market. We have another algorithm that I could show you here. This is a little bit more recent. Here's one of our investment funds, and we have a couple of these things, but is one of our funds. We put in $10,000 into this one recently. Small investment, right? But it's been paying off quite well, and we're actually thinking about putting in more because of how well it's doing. This is from one of the strategies I'm going to show you guys today. We started off at $10,000 about a month ago. We now have $10,700. That is double what the stock market did. And by the way, even when the stock market's down, like for example, today, the stock market was down, I think 1%, we're pretty much flat on the day. So even if the stock market's losing, we're still doing pretty well, right? And when the stock market does well, then we really, really take off, right? So this is one of our funds, and this is specifically how we did today throughout the day, right? Cool. So yeah, I mean, these things are working. These things are doing a good job for us and for a lot of other people as well. So that's why we're super interested in doing this kind of stuff, right? So how do you build something like this, right? How do you get into algorithmic trading and how do you get started, right? So first of all, obviously we have a course on this and we teach you guys how to go through all this, right? We also have some software here. So one thing that we use throughout the course is our open source software, which is Lumiwealth. We've been developing this for quite some time now, and basically it really helps us make it easy for you to make bots. That's what we're all about. We want to make this as easy as possible for you to make your own bots, and so that you guys can actually make some good money off this, right? This is our open source technology, Lumiwealth. If you guys know how to code and you're interested in this sort of thing, check it out here. You can search for it on GitHub, Lumiwealth, right? And then especially if you're on GitHub as well, make sure that you watch watch this and star it, just because we do update it quite often, and this way you get notifications for when it gets upgraded, right? So make sure that you watch and star it, right? But this is our open source software and works quite well. Allows you to trade options, futures, stocks, very soon crypto, allows you to back test all of that. Really makes it quite easy for you to build out bots, right? And our course here will show you how to use that, and we'll show you how to actually make quite a bit of money doing it too, right? So without further ado, what you guys probably are most interested in is our demo, right? So showing you some of our bots. So what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this because, obviously I can't show you these things trading live while the market's closed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this video playing right now, which we recorded a few days ago when the market was open, right? This is one of our past webinars when we were doing it during the market times. I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to be able to see essentially some of these bots that we have and how they're working, right? And how they perform throughout the day and what they would do throughout the day, right? We're constantly, by the way, adding a lot more bots as well. So if you want to have new things created, we're constantly building new things and adding it to our repertoire. So when you join our course, not only are you going to get access to all these algorithms, but you're going to get access to our entire library of all these different algorithms, which is constantly growing. All right. So let me play this for you guys so you guys can see kind of how all this stuff works. Right? Cool. Okay. So let's get into the demo. All right. So this is, I'm going to show you a couple different trading strategies that we show you, first of all, in the courses, and that you can employ yourself. It's pretty easy for you to get these up and running. I've had people that have never coded a day in their lives and have these strategies running within just a few weeks. Even if you don't know how to code, don't feel like you have to shy away from this, whatever. I'm going to be showing you a bunch of code here, but really it's not that difficult to learn. We've been able to teach a lot of people that have never coded before in their lives, right? Okay, so here, let's show you a demo of some of our different trading strategies. Yeah. So there's a couple I want to show you today. We have some new ones, like I was saying. Okay. So I want to show you, first of all, our fast trading strategy, just because a lot of people, whenever they think algo trading, they want to be able to trade really quickly, get in and out of things very fast, and analyze a lot of things. So what I'm doing here is I'm running this fast trading strategy. You see here, we go into our broker. It was nothing, and now it bought a whole bunch of stuff automatically by itself. Okay. And let me describe to you essentially what this strategy is doing. Okay. Here is the code. The code is fairly straightforward. It's not that long, right? So it looks like 160 lines of code, but a lot of it is boilerplate stuff, and a lot of it is like kind of just tracking things and whatnot. It's very easy for you guys to get something like this up and running. Essentially, what it does is it looks at these symbols here, right? SPY, gold, TLT, Microsoft, Tesla, etc. Right? We're looking at all those symbols and basically saying which one has done the best over the past 1 minute, right? And whichever one did the best, has had a momentum, the best momentum, it keeps the top 4, okay? And it'll keep swapping them out. So if we watch this here, we see the top 4 we have right now is TLT, XPXS, XPXL, and MCHI. Those are best over 1 minute. You see that it just swapped. We just bought some gold. So it sold TLT and it bought gold. Okay? And if we leave this running, you'll see basically it'll do this all day long, right? You don't have to be in front of your computer. You could have this thing running in the cloud. You could have this thing running off your computer. And it'll just keep trading for you all day long, right? Now, this is a strategy that follows momentum, but you could just as easily do a lot of other things with this, right? You could use technical analysis for this, right? I know a lot of people like looking at charts and support resistance, that sort of thing. You could use that, right? You could use things like RSI or pivot points or VWAP, right? You could use all those types of things to influence which stocks you want to own and have like we have our top 10 stocks, and based on our criteria, we keep the top 4, and you can trade throughout the day doing that sort of thing. So this is very flexible. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this. And this is just a demo to kind of show you, this fast trading, how it moves in and out. If we give it another minute, it should actually flip things around. We'll give it, so it executes once every minute. If we give it a little bit more time, it'll swap things out. Oh, there you go. Okay, I just did that. So it sold the gold. Remember, you guys saw the gold. It sold that, and it sold our MCHI. So it sold 2 of those things. And it bought SPY and it bought Microsoft, right? And that's because those have been the ones that are doing the best over the past minute and just kind of hold on to them, right? It's just a simple momentum strategy. But like I said, there's a lot of other things that you can convert this into. Use any kind of technical analysis you want or any kind of criteria that you want to do this sort of trading, right? This is something I'll be like throughout the day, intraday, quickly getting in and out of things, all right? All right, okay, so that's our fast trading strategy. Let's show you our technical analysis strategy, right? Because this one is, we could basically take what we did in the last one, okay? And we can do the same thing, or we could use essentially, what we did in the last one. We could apply this sort of stuff for technical analysis type of stuff, right? So what this one does is it's sorry, there's a question here on chat. I want to do trading, day trading. Will it help me with that? Yes, absolutely. It will help you with day trading. Yeah. So last strategy that I just showed you, the fast trading, is very well suited for day trading, right? So what you would do is you would take something like that and combine it with maybe a technical, it depends on how you trade, right? If you trade, support resistance, if you trade using VWAP, if you trade using some sort of technical analysis, RSIs or Bollinger Bands or whatever, we could implement all that kind of stuff, right? So here is a technical analysis strategy. This one trades a little slower, but you can mix the two together, right? You can make it so that the last one that we had takes the top 4 stocks, right? This one, what it does is it trades based off of RSI, right? So it looks at the RSI of SPY, right? And if RSI falls below 33, okay, so it's looking at the RSI for SPY, and it has 2 stocks that it trades, okay? It has SPY and TLT, okay? It has the 2 of them, okay? And they're normally 60-40, which is kind of like what investment advisors recommend, 60% stocks, 40% bonds, right? But when the RSI gets too high on SPY, which means kind of like it's overbought, right, is what we call it with RSI terms. When it's overbought, then we say, okay, let's get out of SPY and only buy TLT. So we sell our SPY, go 100% to TLT. And then the opposite situation, when SPY falls too much and RSI is low, then we will sell all of our TLT and only buy SPY, right? So it's changing weightings in our stocks based off of this criteria of a technical analysis, right? Technical indicator, okay? So if we see it trading right now, you'll see it bought 60-40 SPY, so 60% of money of 50,000 is put into SPY automatically, right? And TLT, the other 20,000, right? The other 40%. Okay? If this is a time when SPY was too high, it would automatically sell SPY and get into TLT. Or if opposite happened, if SPY fell a lot, it will do the flip as well. You can do this much faster. You can do this with many stocks throughout the day. And you can use a lot of other types of technical analysis as well. So we use this library, right? You could use Bollinger Bands, right? You could use, some of these things I don't even know what they are. Average true range, you could use that. Bollinger Bands, you could use moving averages, crossing, you could use MACD, all sorts of different things that you could use to trade with. RSI, stochastic RSI, right? Lots and lots of different things that you can use to trade. And you can trade throughout the day, buying and selling things automatically based on your criteria, right? You don't have to be at your computer. You don't have to be paying attention to it. You can set up stop losses automatically, all that kind of stuff you can get through the bot, right? Okay, so that's our technical analysis strategy, right? Okay, I'm going to show you some cool new ones that we just made, right? So this is one that I think will probably resonate with a lot of you guys. This is a really fun one that we actually just created, and I'm actually in the process of testing exactly how well it does, but it is definitely a very interesting strategy. This is not the right, okay, we're gonna get out of this. So this is a strategy that we call Reddit sentiment, okay? You get access to this strategy. If you join our classes, you get access to this strategy within our classes, right? We'll give this to you. You can use this, you can modify this. It's part of our library of different algorithms, right? Okay, so let me run this one here, okay? And let me explain to you kind of what it's doing, all right? So this strategy, what it does is it goes to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Wall Street Bets. I feel like this has blown up in popularity recently. And of course, if you guys follow this sort of thing or know about this sort of thing, it's been influencing a lot of stocks lately, right? the increases in GameStop was because of this channel on Reddit. Basically, I think it's now, when I last checked, there's 1 million, but someone told me there's 4 million people on here. Everyone's discussing stocks, talking about, you know, what to buy, what to sell, that sort of thing. And it actually has quite a bit of predictive power where, you know, GameStop shot up a lot because of what happened on Wall Street Bets. There's some people that got going and basically went through the roof, right? GameStop, AMC was another one that's like a big, we call it meme stock or Wall Street Bet stock. There's a few other ones that are happening more recently, like Wish, and a few other ones that maybe you guys have missed out on. But if you had this bot that we built out here, you won't have to, right? So what it does is it automatically downloads the hot topics within Wall Street Bets, right? Downloads, you could specify exactly how much you want to download, right? And then it looks over all of those topics, reads all the comments, and uses some artificial intelligence, uses a bit of machine learning type stuff to figure out which stocks have the best sentiment, okay? And sentiment being whether people are saying they like them or not, right? I hate Wish, or I love Wish, or I think Wish is going to the moon, right? It's going to read all those comments and tell you which stocks are, first of all, talked about the most and which ones have the best sentiment. So we see here, Apple, for example, does not have a very good sentiment. It's widely talked about. People don't seem to like it on Wall Street Bets right now. Ones that they do like is this one here, 0.43 Wish. This one's been a hot topic for a while. If you look at the stock charts, by the way, it's gone up a lot. It's doubled over the past week or two, right? So that sentiment is high up there. We have GOEV. I don't even know what that is. This is talking about, people are talking about this on Wall Street Bets. But in either case, what it did is automatically read all that kind of stuff and then bought the top ones for you, right? So let's take a look here. Boom. These are all the top stocks on Wall Street Bets, right? It will automatically hold on to these and read actually these comments throughout the day and throughout the week. So you can have this running in a server, running on your computer. It will automatically buy, in this case, the top 4 stocks that are talked about on Wall Street Bets. Not only the ones that are the most popular, but also the ones that people have the best sentiment for, that people say they really like. Look at that, we just bought them and all of a sudden our money is already starting to go up. It's kind of fun to watch. Yeah, so this is a very interesting strategy. We're going to be actually testing this over the next little bit, and I'm thinking about putting some of our own funds money into this as well. All right, so look at that. We literally just bought it, and look at what happened to our stock price. Like it's literally within a minute, it's shooting up like crazy, right? And what this strategy will do is it will just keep reading this all day long, right? And see, has it changed, right? If sentiments have changed, it will get rid of it, right? Or if sentiments have gone up for one, it will buy it, right? So automatically be doing this stuff all day long, right? Definitely really cool. It's amazing how fast it's going up. So we have a question here. I have no coding experience. Will this program sync it to my trading platform and auto execute the trades? It depends what trading platform you use, right? So if you have no coding experience, I wouldn't be too worried about it. We have a lot of people in our classes with no coding experience, and they've all been able to get bots up and running. So I wouldn't be too surprised about that. I wouldn't be too worried about that, right? Whether it links with your trading platform, it depends on what trading platform you're using, right? We have 2 brokers that we work with right off the bat. Yeah, so we use Alpaca, we use Interactive Brokers, and we're going to be adding in TradeStation soon. That's the next one that we're adding in. So if you use TradeStation, we'll probably have this built in within the next like 2 months, right? So we are definitely going to be adding that in soon, right? For Thinkorswim, they don't have API access. They have API access to something called TD Ameritrade. They don't give you access to the Thinkorswim platform. It's kind of a little weird there. So we recommend actually, if you want to do like algo trading, TD Ameritrade is really not the best, right? They don't allow you to do paper trading, that sort of thing. And to be honest with you, it's really easy to switch brokers, right? Like to open up an account with Alpaca, like honestly, I think you can do this within 5 minutes, right? It's really easy to do that. So we work with them, we work with Interactive Brokers. We're going to be adding in TradeStation very soon, and then we're going to keep adding in more and more as we go. So you definitely have a lot of options there. This is amazing. Look at this. We literally just bought this and we're already making like a bunch of money. The stock chart just shooting straight up. Yeah, changing brokers. Yeah, I agree with you, right? Changing brokers is not very difficult. It's really easy to do that. I really like TradeStation. They have great APIs, so we're going to be working with them soon. They also have crypto, they have futures, they have a lot of other stuff. So TradeStation's a really good one that we're going to be adding in. It's amazing, guys. I got to start running my own money in this strategy. We literally just built this like 2 days ago, so we're still testing it out. But it's amazing. Look at this. Literally, in the course of this conversation, we've already made what, like $300 or something like that. It's just in the course of our talking right now. Cool strategy, right? So that's our Reddit trading strategy. If you have no coding experience, really not that hard for you guys to get this up and running. It's part of our code library, so you can actually start off with this. You can modify it however you want. You don't have to be an expert programmer to do this stuff, guys. You don't have to be some like whiz kid, because we give you a lot of these templates they can start off with. All right. Okay, cool. So that's a Reddit sentiment. I'm going to show you one more. That one actually is really cool. I gotta run that one. I'm going to do that after this. Going to run in the cloud and have it go for a few days, test it out for a couple of days, because that's pretty impressive how well it did that quickly. Like I said, we just built this one like 2 days ago. Another one I want to show you guys, and this is one that we actually just put a bunch of our money into. I really like this strategy, and I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why through a back test, okay? So we teach you not only how to build the bots, we also teach you how to do the research behind it, as to, you know, how are you going to be picking a strategy? Is this a good strategy for you to do or not, right? How do you find these strategies? And this is one way they can figure out whether a strategy is good for you or not, okay? What I'm doing right now is I'm running a back test, okay? So there's a back test for a strategy that we call diversified leverage, okay? And basically what we're doing is we're going from 2012, right? We're doing this because some of these ticker symbols didn't exist until 2012. From 2012 until 2021, so 9 years, okay? And we're seeing how would our strategy have done over the past 9 years? What kind of results would we have gotten, all right? So the strategy in particular, the one that we're doing, is called this diversified leverage strategy, okay? And basically what it is this is like modern portfolio theory, right? If you talk to someone like a Ray Dalio, or you talk to like some of the most prominent investors in the world, they'll tell you diversify well. And the reason why you diversify well is because you want to make sure that you reduce your risk. If you reduce your risk, you can take on more, you can actually take on more risk and make more money, right? Essentially. So what this is we have a bunch of different ticker symbols we're in here. We're in the leveraged NASDAQ, so TQQQ, right? So it's the triple NASDAQ, right? So 3x the returns of the NASDAQ. If you look at the stock chart on this thing, it's wild. It's like up 1,600% in 2 years or something like that. It's crazy, right? But of course, also has its risks. There's a downside as well, right? So we want to protect against that. So we have 20% of our money into that. 10% of our money into UPRO, which is the leveraged S&P 500, 3x leveraged. Then we have 10% of our money into UDOW, which is a leveraged Dow Jones. Then we have 10% of our money in emerging markets, right? Leveraged emerging markets, right? 35% of our money in leveraged treasury bonds. So now we diversify, right? So we have in total 50% of our money in stocks, right? In leveraged stocks, right? And diversified around the world a little bit, right? And then we have the rest of our money in something to counterbalance that, right? To reduce our risks, to give us some good hedging, and to improve our returns without taking on too much risk, right? So we do that by having leveraged treasury bonds. So usually when stocks fall, treasuries go up and vice versa. So they're a really good hedge to have in a portfolio. We also have Barclays VIX, right? This is an interesting one. Basically, you lose money regularly, but when things fall apart, if like the stock market crashes, it'll go like up 5x. You make 500% of your money in like a day, right? And that's a really good hedge, because if things fall, you want to be able to protect yourself, right? And we also have 5% of our money in gold. So this is one that actually I've put some of our money into, right? Not all, but some good chunk of our money into the strategy. And I'll tell you why, right? When we look at the back test, what we can see here is, look at this. So this is this strategy, okay, over that same time period, right? Over this 2012 to 2021, that 9 years there. So January 1st, 2012 to January 1st, 2021, right? So 9 years, okay? Over that time period, the S&P 500 was up 17.5%, which is nice, right? If you were in this strategy, you would have made 28.9%. You would have almost doubled the stock market's returns, okay? which is amazing, right? Like obviously that's, if you guys do the math behind this, this is the difference between when you retire, you could retire with $1 million versus 10 million, right? That's like the difference, right? Like it's a very, very large difference when you have double the stock market's returns. Huge payouts. This could be worth $9 million to you in the future. I mean, this kind of differential, right? But okay, so it's great to have a higher returns. That's awesome, right? But we're not just talking about higher returns here. We're talking about higher returns while taking on the same amount or less risk. Okay. So over that same time period, so we doubled the stock market's returns, but we also had only a little bit of increase in our volatility. It's not too much more volatile, meaning this up and down thing. And our max drawdown is almost exactly the same, right? So meaning from the peak to the bottom, right? This is in last year, right? March, 2020, stock market fell 30%. From the very top to the very bottom, it fell 33%, okay? If you were invested in this strategy, you would have also only lost about 33% at the same time period. So we have the same risk as the stock market, but we're making double the returns. That to me sounds incredibly impressive, right? Which is why we're putting some of our money into this, right? We diversify among different strategies. We don't put everything into one, but this was one when we're looking at 30% a year returns, sounds very appealing to me, right? So this one went ahead. When we go in here, you could see it automatically bought all these things for us, right? All the different ones. This would be a pain, by the way, to do on your own. And the key is that it doesn't just buy these, it rebalances. And that's the key here, right? Because you'll have days like, for example, TQQQ will shoot up, in a week's time, will shoot up 100% or something like that. When it shoots up 100%, you want to rebalance your portfolio and put money somewhere else. And that's how you actually get the safety along with the very good gains, right? It's intelligent portfolio construction, and that's how you end up making all the money. That's why having like a robot that'll automatically look at the stuff and rebalance for you is really important, because that's how you're actually going to end up with these returns. You can't just go and buy them and that's it, right? You actually have to be rebalancing and trading them on a regular basis, right? So I very much like this strategy as well. We have our own money, like I said, in this as well, and so far been doing, we've been making good money. So I'm happy with it so far. All right, cool. All right, so that's a couple of our strategies. We've showed you everything from our day trading, to trading off of Reddit, to building intelligent portfolios. I have a few more that I can show you guys. We have a whole library, like I said. There's tons of different things. We have things where we trade off of like macroeconomic things where we use like the debt, where the Fed Reserve that they take on debt. We trade off of that. We're building out a bunch of options trading strategies as well. Which we're going to have a separate webinar to kind of explain a bunch of that stuff where, you can trade volatility and all that sort of thing. We have lots and lots of different strategies, and we just keep growing more and more of them. So if you guys join our courses, not only are we going to teach you how to do this stuff, we're going to give you access to that big library. So you'll be able to either use it right out of the box, or, modify it to do whatever you want it to do. You'll have access to that sort of stuff. All right. Cool. So that's the demo. Right. Awesome. So what'd you guys think about that? So I know there's a couple questions here. I know Yuri, you had a few questions. Awesome. Great. Perfect. Thank you. So I know you had one question that you're talking about teaching your models to create new models. If you're perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. I mean, Yuri, if you're looking to create, to have something that creates new models, the machine learning course might be something that you find very appealing, because that is exactly what the machine learning course is about. It's about basically teaching the bot to create its new type of models. So Curtis, so if you find this to be way over your head, the algorithmic trading course, what we do is we essentially will teach you pretty much all the fundamentals, right? We'll teach you how to do Python, right? We also give you a lot of supplemental materials so that you can kind of learn the Python side of things. We talk a lot about finance, and we talk a lot about kind of the best practices. We have a community around this as well. So you don't just learn from myself, you also learn from people in the course, in our alumni network, which is growing quite a bit now. So there's a lot of people to learn from and a lot of things to get out of this. So if this sounds like if it sounds like quite a lot at the beginning, believe me, it's something that we can get you through. I've taught people that barely even knew how to use a computer, and she was able to get an algorithm running. If we can teach someone like that didn't even know how to use where to find files on her computer, if we teach someone like that, we could definitely teach you how to build algorithms as well. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Right? Cool. And that's basically what we specialize in, is helping you build those types of things. And to be honest with you, I'm more than happy also to give you a formal guarantee that if you take the course, you actually show up to class, you'll come out of this with your own algorithm, right? I want to put that officially on our page, but I'm very confident in saying that sort of thing, right? So we have another question here. So what course would you recommend to an experienced developer and trader? So if you're an experienced developer, so I still recommend the algorithmic trading course. We kind of teach this sort of stuff. Maybe the options trading course would be something that you find very appealing as well. The machine learning and options courses are both two of our more advanced courses. So you could jump right into that and get going with it. If you are an advanced trader or an advanced programmer as well, I still think you get a lot of value out of the algorithmic trading course. But to make sure that we accommodate for everyone, the first few weeks are a little bit of a recap. So, if you're interested in that sort of thing, our two other courses, the options and the machine learning course, they're both highly advanced. And maybe if you even buy the two together, like self-directed one, and I'll talk about all that stuff, and live the other, I think that you'll get a lot out of it. I would definitely recommend to present some sort of intro course, how to open file, how to get and parse web page, etc. Yeah, so that's our algorithmic trading course. It like teaches you a lot about, or I guess not that early, but teaches you basically how to set everything up and make sure that you actually have a bot working on your computer, right? Regardless of your programming experience. So let me tell you guys a little bit about this course. Now that you've seen kind of some of the trading happening, you've seen some of the results. All right, let's talk about this actual course itself. And by the way, this is our website, lumiwealth.com. We have several different courses I was talking about. The machine learning and the options trading courses, these two are a little bit more advanced. If you want, you can go into that and also read up about them a little bit. We had a webinar that we did on the machine learning course earlier in the week. We're also doing a webinar on our options trading course next week, right? And a lot of people actually tend to buy these things in bundles. You save a lot of money if you buy several of them together. Right? So a lot of people tend to do that. You save the money and you really get a lot out of it, right? So I have another comment here, a question here. I mean, for people who does not have enough experience, yeah, definitely. So when you buy this course, it comes with a lot of supplementary material for you to actually learn all this types of stuff, right? So you don't start completely from scratch. So if you don't have a lot of programming experience, I recommend that you actually sign up a little bit earlier, kind of get a head start on it. If you have programming experience, it's still not going to be going super slow. So don't feel like this is going to be like a super slow course for those of you that have, a lot of the Python or programming experience, right? Can you see this webinar on replay? I missed the whole thing practically. Yeah, Daniel. So let me send you a link, right? So we have this streaming right now. Okay. Let me send you a link to our streaming, Daniel. This is a link there. If you go to our YouTube channel on Lumiwealth, you'll also find it there. But that's a link specifically to this. Right now it's streaming, right? But as soon as it's done streaming, this will turn into something that you can watch, right? So you can rewatch the whole thing if you'd like. All right. No problem, Daniel. Appreciate you. Cool. Awesome. So, all right. So as I was saying, here's a website. If you want to check out our other courses, like I said, people buy them together. You can do so up here. But we're talking about our algorithmic trading course. This is usually the course that everyone goes through. This is like our more, this will teach you the fundamentals behind everything, right? So there's 3 different plans that we have for this course. We have our self-directed plan, which is essentially you get to watch the recordings of our past classes and you get access to our community, right? So you get to learn from our alumni, you get to be part of our discussion hour, you get to ask questions to some of our instructors, and you get the recordings of the classes, right? You still definitely get quite a bit out of it, but I'll tell you that our students mostly find this one, the live class, to be the most appealing. This is definitely our most popular plan. So our self-directed plan is, recorded videos. Our live plan is you watch these videos live, right? So basically, it's kind of like this, right? This is awesome, by the way. This is very interactive. You know, you guys during a live class can have your cameras turned on. You get to know other people in the class. It's very interactive. So when we're like teaching this course material, you can ask questions like, oh, I'm a little confused about this. I don't know how to do this sort of thing. We do a lot of workshops around this as well. So you'll get to, you know, we'll see other people, how they're doing, and like you can follow along. We build stuff together and we get help throughout the course and actually building these things. Then you also see presentations from other students. So you get to see how they're doing and what are the things that they're working on. You get a chance to present your own stuff, so you get a lot of feedback for it. Plus, you get everything else from the self-directed plan as well. So you get access to the past recordings, you get access to our community, you get access to this discussion hour channel that I was telling you about, which is really cool. Every week we talk about a different subject, and everyone seems to be making quite a bit of money, which is great. And that's our live classes. And then also when you take our live classes, we also allow you to retake them as many times as you want, right? So sometimes people take a class and, you know, life happens, right? You know, they have to move, or, you know, someone gets sick or whatever it is. You can retake this class as many times as you want, right? And you get access to all the future recordings as well. So as technology changes, as things improve, you can retake this, you get access to all that stuff going forward, right? And all of these give you access to our library of algorithms for this algorithmic trading course, right? So those are our two plans. And then a third plan, and this one's also quite popular as well, is our project help and tutoring plan. So basically, again, includes everything from the previous two. You get all the recordings, you get to be part of a community, you get to join this live class, right, where you hear about other people's presentations, you get to ask questions throughout the class. And then also you get a lot of hand-holding, right? So we'll spend a lot of time with you on the phone. If you want to, if you're building out some specific algorithm, you know, we'll go one-on-one for as long as we need to make sure that you get this algorithm working. We even a lot of times get our developers involved and we'll help you build some of these algorithms out as well, right? So you really get like the white glove service. You really get a lot of help with making sure that this algorithm gets built out and built out the way that you want. We'll really spend a lot of time with you to make sure that you get exactly what you need out of this course and you get an algorithm working exactly the way that you want it to. All right. That's our project help and tutoring plan. And this one is quite valuable, and people end up using this quite a bit to build out some really, really cool stuff. Right. Okay. So these are prices for 3 different plans. So our self-directed plan is $950, right? Again, gives you access to our community, gives you access to all those pre-recorded videos, gives you access to ask questions to the instructors, right? In this case, the instructor will be myself. So if you want to jump on a call, we can do that, right? The live class is essentially you're watching everything live. You really get into the community. You really get to know a lot of the other students. You get to see other people's presentations. You get to present and show off your work and get feedback on it. You know, we'll spend a lot of time with you one-on-one, making sure that, you know, you get more one-on-one time throughout this, right? Throughout the live class. And again, you're part of the community and all that sort of thing as well. So you really get the most out of it. This is definitely the one that people are most most popular, and people tend to be very satisfied with the live classes. And then if you want that extra help, if you want us to help you build out an algorithm, really spend a lot of time with you on the phone, actually write code for you on top of everything else, then the project help and tutoring plan is the way that you can go. And, you know, we'll help you coming out of this to actually have a working algorithm and built out the way that you need it to, right? So not only are you going to be learning and taking these courses, but we're going to be actually helping you build this thing out, right? Okay, so we have a question here. Thanks, Robert. I'm interested, but just can't afford right now. That's no problem, Ken. So another thing I want to mention, by the way, is we have a payment plan as well, right? So we have a 3-month payment plan. If you guys need a longer term payment plan, you can speak to some of our sales reps. We can do that. It's going to be a little bit more expensive for the longer term plan, but essentially you'll be able to pay it off over a longer period of time. And we also will do that as well. This is not, you don't have to pay all this stuff up front. It is over a payment plan. All right. Okay, cool. So that's for algorithmic trading. We also, like I said, we do bundles, right? So there's bundles with our machine learning course. If you want to take the two together, you know, learn how to do the basic algorithmic trading stuff, and then also the machine learning stuff, you can take those two together and save a lot of money by taking the two together. Also, where we don't have this up here yet, but there's going to be bundles as well between the options trading course and this course as well. So if you want to take the 3 together, if you want to take 2 together, you end up saving quite a bit of money by pairing them up. All right. Cool. All right. So if you guys want to read through this, there's a bunch of stuff that you can read about the outcomes, but I want to direct you to our curriculum. This is basically what you're going to be learning throughout this course. So it's divided up into 3 parts. Okay, so first part is the fundamentals, right? So we're going to teach you the fundamentals of data science. We're going to refresh you on Python. If you're brand new to Python, we're also going to give you supplementary material, so you learn also outside of class to get up to speed, right? But we're going to go over a quick Python refresher in this as well to make sure everyone's kind of at that point. And then we're going to start teaching you about data science. So you have all the fundamentals down so that when we get deep into this, we're all kind of on the same page, right? We'll teach you how to use pandas, how to load CSV files. Pandas being essentially like Excel on steroids, and basically what everyone uses in the data science community. If you don't know what pandas is, you're probably not a data scientist, right? And it's very, very valuable and very, very helpful for downloading data, analyzing it, getting like economic data, getting stock data, all those types of things. We'll teach you how to do that, right? Okay, so part 1 is getting your fundamentals down. Part 2 is when we really dive into the finance side of things, right? So we'll teach you how to take all that data science, all that Python, and how to apply it to the finance world, right? So basically, you're going to be downloading lots of financial data. You're going to be downloading data from Yahoo Finance, from the Federal Reserve. We'll teach you how to use a few different types of things to download data as well, which you can get, you name it, earnings reports and financials. Like, you can get all sorts of stuff, download that so you can analyze these stocks or options or whatever it is that you want to analyze, right? So that's week 1. Week 2, we're going to be talking about essentially a lot of the finance stuff, right? So how do you do compound annual growth? How do you calculate compound annual growth rate, standard deviation? What is max drawdown, Sharpe ratios? This is all about basically how do you calculate whether you're doing a good investment or not, right? So we teach you how to do all that in code, and we teach you about the fundamentals of the finance behind all these things, right? And then we spend the rest of this section talking about back testing, right? And what back testing is, and back testing is very, very important for algorithmic trading. And basically what it is what you're doing is you're looking back over the past, let's say 20, 30 years, right? And you could take your algorithm that you've built out and test it over the past 20 years. How would it have done, right? Or you could take your algorithm, if it's like a fast trading, if it's some sort of day trading thing, you can go over the past, week or 2 weeks or month. How would it have done and performed in the past, year or two, whatever, right? This is really important because a lot of people, when they start trading, they're just like, yeah, I heard this is a good thing to do. And then they just start trading and a lot of times lose money, right? Which is not a good thing to do. So we teach you how to get around that, right? We teach you how to take this sort of idea that you have, put it down into some code, and then back test it and check how would it have done over the past year or 2 or 10 or 20, right? And then once you've seen that this thing actually does perform over that time, or if it doesn't, we can tweak it, we can modify it, we can find something that actually does. And we have a couple of strategies that are actually working quite well. Then, we'll tweak that strategy. We'll make sure that it's actually working well in a back test. We'll show you how to do that throughout the section, right? And then once you have that back test working, then we're going to show you how to actually take it live and start actually using it to make money, right? But this back testing part is very important for you to learn about, is this thing actually going to make you money? How would it have done in the past? And that's a very strong indication to how this would do in the future, right? Okay, so that's back testing. And then part 3 is all about, actually building this trading robot, right? So part 1, like I said, was the fundamentals. Part 2 is about applying all that to the finance world, back testing, downloading data, doing your research, right? And then part 3 is taking all that research and all that back testing you've done. Now is actually build a bot that's going to run for you and make you money, right? So we'll show you how to set up your broker, how to connect to it, and then how to create a new strategy, And then we're going to be doing a lot of workshops where you guys can share your screens and, show this is where we are, where I am with my bot, and get some help with it. You can see other people present theirs and see how they're doing. So it's very interactive, and you really get to see how to build these bots and how other people's bots perform as well, right? And then after we go through all that, by the end of this time, you're definitely going to have a trading bot working. Like I said, more than happy to give you guys a guarantee. As long as you show up to class and you put in the work, you'll come out of this with a working trading bot by this time, right? Then we're also going to teach you a little bit of machine learning. We give you a little bit of an intro into the sneak peek, right? Which works quite well together. And then you can go into the machine learning course and really get very good at it if that's what you choose to do. By the way, some of these strategies I've been seeing with machine learning have been incredible. Some of the returns. We're building out more and more of our own bots, and definitely some really cool stuff is coming out of it, right? Cool. So that's essentially our curriculum. Any questions about all that? So part one, you do your fundamentals, right? Part two, you learn about the fundamentals behind all this stuff, or sorry, how to apply all that to the world of finance, how to research, and figure out, is this something that is going to work? What strategies are going to work? And then back test them, make sure that they're actually good for you. And then part three, we're going to talk about how to actually build that trading robot and make sure that it's working on your computer. We're going to do the workshops. We'll go to the ends of the earth to make sure that you actually have this bot working on your computer and trading for you. And believe me, the smiles I see on people's faces when they actually get this bot working, it's definitely makes me feel very good. And I know that they love it as well, because it's really cool seeing a bot actually trade on your behalf. It's definitely very fun to watch. All right. And then obviously, you're going to not only learn about how to build a bot, but coming out of it, you're also going to come out being a better programmer and learning a lot about coding as well. So it's definitely a fun way to learn how to code as well. All right. So that's the curriculum, right? So now let me tell you about our upcoming courses. We have a course coming up in August 25th. It's no longer the early bird. So we passed that time. It was until July 23rd. But the course is coming up on August 25th. So it's starting very, very soon. So in 20 days, 3 weeks, this course is starting. The registration closes on August 11th, right? So very soon, this registration is going to close, right? So make sure if you want to sign up to this course, sign up sooner rather than later, because we're closing the doors soon to this, because we don't want to have these courses too big. And also we want to make sure that we can get everyone prepared for the class, right? So that's when the next one's starting, end of August. This course lasts 12 weeks, excluding holiday breaks. I don't think you guys are going to be on holiday break. I think this falls on a Wednesday, so I don't think there's any holidays on a Wednesday, but it lasts 12 weeks long, right? We recommend about 8 to 12 hours per week, self-paced learning. So it's going to be 2 hours in class, right? Live over Zoom every week at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific, right? It's going to be 2 hours live in class. And then we also recommend they spend some time outside of class practicing and obviously building out your bots and doing your research and that sort of thing as well, right? So 2 hours in class every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It goes for 12 weeks long, and it's starting on August 25th, right? We also have one starting in September, which is starting on September 30th. If the August date doesn't make sense for you, then you could also start on August 30th, and the registration for that closes on the 16th. This one is every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 Pacific. And it's also 2 hours per week live over Zoom. And we also recommend, 8 to 12 hours per week of in total of you studying for this sort of thing. This one does have an early bird special as well, which ends in 12 days. So if you guys want to get a discount on the course, you can save an extra 20%, which is, $700. You can save $700 if you register within the next about 12 days, so in a little over a week. So if you register by then, you're going to save that extra $700, right? Okay, so that's those two courses. And then also throughout the course, you're doing 2 projects, right? So project 1 is essentially taking part in the second part of the course, where you're going to be learning how to analyze investment strategies and you're going to be presenting this. So the first project I come out of this with is analyzing your investments and learning how to analyze and back test your strategies and that sort of thing, right? And then project 2 is actually having a live trading bot working. You're going to learn how to build that bot, and you're going to actually have a live bot done by the end of this, by the end of the program, right? If you want to learn a little bit about me, here's a little bit of a blurb about me as well. I think I went over this quite a bit more in detail, but you're more than welcome to read up a little bit about my background as well. And then if you want to see some past testimonials, we have a few testimonials here they can read, and not just read, but also watch. So these are some of our past students. They're also the usual suspects. If you're on Discord, you'll probably see them a lot on Discord, and you could listen to all these guys speak and see what they've come up with. Some of these guys have really made some very profitable trading algorithms since making these videos. So they're definitely very interesting people to learn from. But if you want to see kind of what our past students are like, you listen to some of these videos here. Or you could also join us on Discord and just kind of see our alumni channel and see what everyone's like, right? Cool, awesome. All right, so that's essentially it, right? That's basically it for our courses, or for this course in particular. Any questions around all this, right? I know you guys have been asking questions throughout, but here's a chance for you guys to write out some questions if you have any more, and if you want to learn a little bit more about our courses. So again, just feel free to type into the chat or into the Q&A. Right. So thanks, Robert. I'm interested in it. Okay. Thanks, Robert. I'm on it. Awesome, Yuri. Great. Thank you for being here, Yuri. This has been great. I love all this interactivity, guys. It's been a very fun presentation. I love it when people have all these different questions and whatnot. I think you guys will love this course. Hopefully I get to see you guys in it. It starts, like I said, in 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks from now, we could be getting going and learning how to build some of these algorithms. You know? I'll give you guys a few more minutes as well to type out some of these questions. Like I said, also, you guys might want to check out this book. This is a very good book, The Man Who Solved the Market. Definitely will get you quite, we'll show you some of the power they can get from doing these types of algorithms. Don't just take it from me, right? Like learn from others as well. These guys are really making quite a bit of money, you know. Cool. No questions so far, but I'll have questions during the course. Awesome. Great. Yeah, I hope to see you in the course, Yuri. This would be awesome. I'd be very happy to see you in the course, and we can, especially if you have this programming background in Java and, TensorFlow, I think you can build out some really, really cool stuff. I'll tell you, some of our students with that type of background have really built some very, very cool things, and I could actually introduce you to some of them. And honestly, really, really cool stuff that he built out and really making quite a bit of money. Cool. All right. So I'm going to assume you guys probably don't have any questions. There you go. Okay. Does your platform support minute level backtesting? Yes, it does. This is actually, I'll say this. We're going to support it in about a week, right? So in a week or two, we'll have this supported. By the time that you guys start the course, yes, you'll be able to do minute level backtesting, right? So it's not just backtesting day by day. You'll be able to backtest minute to minute, right? Or actually, if you can get the data, you could even backtest second to second. Right? You just have to find where to get that data, right? You could also backtest futures. You could backtest options. You'll be able to backtest crypto when we add that in. You could backtest Forex. So it's very flexible. It really just depends on what data you put in. You could backtest anything with any level of granularity that you want. So yes, good question. Do we provide such data? I'll show you where to get data like this, right? So one source is Alpha Vantage, right? This is free, right? This is a free source of minute level data. You can go back up to 2 years on a minute level using these guys, right? And I'll show you guys how to do this. Data will third-party feed. Yeah. So this is one example of a third party that has that minute level data. This is free. If you want to pay for it, you can go back even further. But these guys have up to 2 years of minute level data for free. And you could just plug this into our backtesting system, and you can backtest your strategies using this, right? What type of computer do you recommend for taking this class? Honestly, I've never seen anyone who didn't have a good enough computer. I'll be honest with you. You don't need anything fancy. It's, you know, we're not, you know, actually even in like our machine learning course, you don't need anything fancy because we do a lot of stuff in the cloud, right? Like, you know, I wouldn't be too worried about a computer unless you have something that's like 10 years old and runs Windows 95 or something. You know, I think you'd be fine. For the most part, you don't need to have a fancy computer. Cool. Awesome. Great questions, guys. Keep them coming. Yeah, a lot of these algorithms that we run, they're not like super computationally, you know, they don't take up a lot of computational power. And I could actually show you guys, we don't teach it in the class, but if you guys are interested and you take the live class, I could show you how to do this. Be more than happy to get on like a call with any one of you and show you how to run this in the cloud as well. Because I mean, that's how we run our stuff. I don't like running this thing off my computer every day. I just run in the cloud and just, I forget about it and just makes me money while I sleep. You know, it's like every once in a while I just check in like, oh, cool, we made a couple $100. You know, it's like, it's definitely, yeah, it's definitely fun to watch, you know? Cool. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to assume you guys don't have any more questions. Thank you very much for being on this presentation. It's been a pleasure having you guys here. Do you recommend, so there's one more question here. Do you recommend any newer academic research papers? You know what? I don't know. I don't tend to read a lot of research papers, to be quite honest with you. I tend to talk to people that have done this in the industry. They don't tend to publish papers, right? You know, if you have something that's making money, you don't tend to be someone who wants to like write a paper and get published. You tend to be someone who wants to build it and actually make money with it, right? So I definitely learn more from the communities and from our students and from what they're doing. I definitely find that to be a lot more enlightening. And then also just like, you know, testing and doing the data science ourselves, that is definitely the better sources of information I find. But I mean, if you want to get something, like I said, that teaches you a little bit about this, I think that book, The Man Who Solved the Market, this is definitely a very interesting book to read. Yeah, so Yuri says the limits of AlphaVantage API on free account are pretty low. Yeah, I'd recommend you like download the data and then use it that way. If you want to get also Alpaca has an API as well. If you fund your account, they give you a bunch of data. Or if you really want to have like lots and lots and lots of data, you might have to pay for it. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. To be honest with you, I haven't found a lot of people that have come against these limits with AlphaVantage. All you need to do is have like a little sleep timer. You download all of it to your computer, and then you have it in CSV files and use it that way. Right? That's the way I'd recommend working with it. Right? And they just load the CSV files and backtest that way. Right? You only have to download it once. Right? It's historical data. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Great, guys. So yeah, like I said, it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you very much for being part of this webinar. And I hope to see you guys in the course. It starts in 3 weeks, and it would be a pleasure having you guys there. I love this interactivity. And let's get you guys building these bots and making some money. All right. Hey, have a great night, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Good night.